Shalom Chevra, today we're going to talk about water. That's right, Mayim Chaim. So let's talk about water. In the Parsha, in Bereshis, in Pasuk, in Perak Beis, Pasuk, Yud Daled. So let's go back to the garden. In the Garden of Eden, we know that there was a Nar Hayotze Me'Eden. There was a river that was coming out from this place called Eden, this very exalted place. And it was watering the garden. And from the garden, the Torah teaches that it went out into 4 headwaters, into various places in the world. And the Torah explains these different waters. And one of the waters, the third river, in verse 14, chapter 2, V'shem hanar hashlishi chidekelhu. There's a river that's called Chidekel, the third river. Rashi points out, Chidekel is a composition of 2 words. What are the 2 words? Chidekel, shemem of Chadin. Chad, that's the first part. Chad means clean, purified. Chad. And Kal, Chidekel. Chidekel and Kalin, that it was very, very easy. This is based also on a Rashi in Brachos Nun Tes Amud Beis, that the water was very, very easy to drink, says Rashi, and it would not make his body heavy. What do you see from Rashi? There's something that's called water that makes your body heavy, and there's something that's called water that's kal, that does not make your body heavy. And we want to be drinking water. The praise of this river was water that kept our bodies light. And therefore, we want to be drinking water that's light on the body and does not make our body heavy. There's something called chevra hard water. This is water that has high levels of minerals, chemicals, fluoride in high levels, chlorine in very high levels, that make calcification inside the body, bog the body down, make the body not able to function properly. Essentially, this is called in most places tap water. Now, tap water is not a problem if you have it 1 or 2 times, you have it every so often. The problem comes when a person lives on tap water day in and day out, every single day of his life. This starts to create calcification in the body, and it can create basically a coral reef inside of the arteries, inside especially the feet, because the calcification will go down with gravity, and a person feels his feet are not working so well, they become heavy, the body becomes very, very heavy. And therefore, we're seeing here that there's something about having water that's lighter. It's not heavy water. That means purified water. Being very, very aware, big gadol, in a larger sense that I want to get purified water. And it's very important for every head of household to organize for their families the best water situation, the best water purification situation that's possible. One of the ways that I suggest that's very, very reasonable is to get something called a Berkey water filter. A Berkey water filter is a gravity-fed filter, very high level of filtration, and it makes very, very clean, delicious water, no matter where you are. Even in, God forbid, if there's times of lack of water or, God forbid, disaster, and you have a water source available, but it's not clean, you put water into the Berkey water filter, very, very clean water. This is going to allow our bodies not to become heavy and bogged down, but essentially to have a lightness in our bodies. It's so important to be able to feel light, to be able to do mitzvahs, to have the energy, to be Oved Hashem. So my dear friends, let's start with thinking of what strategies you can do now. Simple. I suggest the Berkey water filter. There's others that we'll talk about to add that to the family, and then we should all have clean, pure, safe drinking water. Amen ve'amen. Because we know ein mayim ela Torah. We want to have clean water on the inside and clean Torah. Amen ve'amen.